Hello? Hi, who's this? Sorry, let me turn my Bluetooth on. Hi, who's this? I thought it would be funny to start a YouTube video like I was answering the phone. You got it. I don't need to explain it to you. Hi, my name is Drew Monson. Let me turn my Bluetooth on. This is my second channel where I just talk to my friend. You're my friend, and you didn't even know. We've been friends since middle school, and you didn't even realize. If you watched the whole, TV show of your life, around season 4, I pop up and I'm in every frame, just chilling out in the bathroom? Just chilling out in the bathroom, always on a toilet, wherever you are. I wanted to talk today about my experience being an auditioning actor. And Mommy, he can't stop trying to get parts. He wants to be on TV. I'm losing my ability to British. Yeah, I used to try to be in stuff. And I was in a few things, but I never got in any movie or TV show that wasn't through my videos knowing somebody on YouTube. And I did a lot of auditions, and I just thought it would be interesting to talk about because I feel like you only hear the success stories of Mark Ruffalo or whatever being I auditioned 15,000 times before anyone even looked me in the eyes, and now I'm Mr. Hulk. And you're supposed to be yay hoo, I like life. But this is the sad version, not sad, the version where I never really succeeded, but it was still a good experience. I want to talk about how I'm looking at it now. And kind of spill the tea, or spill the frappuccino. I feel like 15 unfunny YouTubers have already made that joke. I didn't spill the tea, I spilled the freaking, the coffee bean, okay, hi. Spilling the tea, by the way, is not a positive experience. Why does everyone talk about it like it's fun? If you spill tea, that's a sad moment. Have you ever spilled tea? It's either burning your body, which is sacred, or something you put together to try and fix yourself. You're having a bad moment and you're you know what? Let me make tea. And then you spill it, and I'm supposed to believe that that's some kind of mic drop moment? Nah. Nah. That's my new YouTube catchphrase. Nah. Okay, so I wrote down some experiences I had from living in LA. I don't know, I wonder if the people watching this know who I am at all. I could just say anything. I should call this video why I left the Disney Channel, and just see if anyone, just make up an entire show. I'm yeah, so you guys know I was on Tyler's River, where I played the boy who owned his own river and inherited a river from his rich uncle, and then had to clean it out, and it was really hard to clean the river. But it just felt like it wasn't me anymore. I felt like we had cleaned the river as much as we could, and there was just the third season, they brought the ducks in, and all of a sudden there's ducks in the river, and I start making friends with that one duck, and everyone's it's interesting to hear about the ducks. I've never seen Tyler's River, but this guy is very open. I've been having a hard time I had an idea to make this video 4 hours ago, and I came home and I was let's do it, I'm ready. I started filming, I was I forgot how to do this, I don't know. People are leaving nice comments about these videos, and now I'm scared. I feel like I'm doing it badly. I feel like you can hear the congestion in my nose. You're worried I have COVID, you're gonna catch it through the screen. That was nasty. I'm definitely editing that out. I'm not gonna edit it out, I'm just gonna mute. I'm gonna put a little fun sound effect there. The point of this channel was to not edit the videos. Let me stay on task. Not that there's any task. Hi. When I was when I was 19, I moved to Los Angeles, and I got agent. Well, first I had a meeting. I still lived in my hometown. And I remember I took the Greyhound, which is very uncomfortable to sit down for that long, and sometimes someone sits next to you who I had some bad experiences, it shouldn't have happened to me. But I took the Greyhound. No Greyhound tangents right now. You guys can sponsor me. If the Greyhound CEO is watching this and just a casual fan, and they're oh my god, that's me. Literally me. Send me an email. I'll make you guys sound good. I'll edit this whole thing out. I'll do a version for you guys. I took the Greyhound, the best experience of my life. Hands down, they know how to party. I took the Greyhound to see the agents, and I remember I had all my stuff. Or no, it was when I stayed in LA for a bit, and then I had all my stuff because I was about to take the Greyhound home right after I had the meeting. So I show up to this fancy Beverly Hills agency. It was a big cool thing, and I remember I had a giant backpack on. It had the rolly suitcase, and I walked up to like the pretty secretary in the Beverly Hills office, and I was like, can you guys like hold this for me? Like as if I was like early checking into a hotel or something. And she was like, yeah. And I remember just thinking it was so cool that I was like in this fancy world, and like they were all fake, and I was walking in being real, fish out of water. Like, I ride the Greyhound, dude, and I'm in here. This is funny to me. I'm literally like a movie with Hilary Duff in it. It's gonna take me 17 minutes to just like talk about how I walked into an office. I just remember I mean, I knew these, I eventually, you know, they became my agents, and it was kind of like a thing where the idea is that I'm seeing if they're gonna be my agents, like, are you guys good agents? But they were so like big and powerful that basically I felt like I was auditioning for them. And they were asking me like fancy questions, like, what do you model your career after? And I was like, what, okay. And I said Steve Carell. And then I remember thinking like, I bet everyone says that. I bet every boy with long hair who walks in and acts like me says Steve Carell because he does drama and comedy. And then I was like exciting time because I had a meeting with another agency. Here's what happened. There's a big agency. Trying to explain Hollywood for you guys. Maybe you understand. Maybe you're Miranda Cosgrove. What if she's watching? She's like, I know. I'm iCarly. Why are you talking to me like I'm dumb? I know what agents are. I've ridden the Greyhound. I do it still to keep me humble. No one knows you're iCarly on the Greyhound. Greyhound.com. Promo code iCarly. Just kidding, sorry, don't get mad, Greyhound CEO. Okay, so I met with like a smaller agency, and we went out for Thai food, and maybe it was before. And I remember they were like, listen, I know you're meeting with the other one, and we just want to say that like you're gonna be a little fish in a big pond there or whatever, and like they're dealing with a lot of people. We are going to focus on you, and we think it would be the best option for you. Do what you're gonna do. I know it's tempting, but they paid for my Thai food. It was very sweet. I liked them. But something in me was like, oh my God, these agents are big. Like, they have a Wikipedia page that, you know, they represent all these giant movie stars. And in the meeting with them, they were like name dropping everyone. And like, oh yeah, I remember they said something, I shouldn't say who it is. Should I spill the Frappuccini? Did I already make that joke? I had a whole idea that I'm gonna do a bit about spilling the tea. No, the Frappuccino. I bet other YouTubers have made that joke already. I filmed this already like 3 times, up to 2 minutes, and then gave up, so. They were name dropping celebrities. They were getting me excited. They buttered me up. I'm not trying to make them sound bad. Like, they were always nice. It's just there's this thing of like people with really nice suits and clothes on, and it feels like people I've only seen on TV. Like people acting like fancy business people that you only watch in movies and go, I wonder if that's real. And it was like, whoa. I felt like starstruck that I was around fancy people. But it was so exciting. I mean, so exciting. And they liked me, and I said I wanted to go with them because it seemed like the biggest thing. Like, they have all these connections and it's amazing. So I moved to LA, and immediately I get this audition for a pilot that was for a sitcom. And basically what happens when you go into an audition, Miranda, I know you, just go to the bathroom or something. Sit on a toilet, okay, Miranda? What do I care? Okay. You go into, like, when you first, like, the first audition you go to, if you're, like, a nobody in Hollywood, you just are basically reading for, like, an assistant or something. Someone just, like, literally in a room with a camera who's, like, doesn't have any real say in any of this. They just film you and read you have, like, 3 pages of whatever the thing is, and you read it, and they literally go, good job, cool, bye-bye, I don't like you. That's what I hear. And then if you get a call back, you read again for like maybe a producer or someone who's actually part of it, because they've been shown that meaningless videotape you made. Not meaningless. And if they liked it, they're like, oh, we want to like, and maybe you come in for them, and if you get that, they'll like direct you a little bit and be like, do a little more like this, do a little more like this. Sometimes you go to that one first. So for this one, I got the pilot audition for a sitcom, and it was because of someone I knew, like a producer that I knew the creator, and I got right to like the big one. I like jumped ahead in line, and I went into this big audition with like, I remember in the waiting room, like the show ended up becoming like kind of a big hit, not huge, I mean pretty big show that like went on for a while, and I remember in the waiting room, the people who ended up on the show were there, and I recognized one of them, and like I was trying to joke around. I was just like very looking back at it, I was 19 or whatever, and I was just very much like, kind of had that cocky attitude of like, yeah, I'm 19, this makes complete sense. I didn't realize how special it was, but that worked in my favor because I was just kind of naive and like taking it as it came. And I remember I went in and the scene was that I had to like rap or something, and I had to be this like loser who was trying to rap and be cool, and I really like went for it. And I remember it was the director of the show and the creator, and like they were kind of far away from me and they just seemed so I think I couldn't see. I remember maybe I took off my glasses because I didn't want to see them very well. I remember them asking me about my YouTube, and I was like, oh, they like looked me up, this seems important. I could feel like I could feel that it was kind of a big moment for me, and I just like kind of lost myself. Like when I used to do stand-up, I would try to just like go somewhere else and memorize it and just like do that for 2 minutes and then like come back and go, okay, I hope that was good. I don't even know what it was. And I remember it felt like they liked me and they gave me some direction, and I went home and like I emailed my agents, and I ended up hearing back that I was going to get the second like studio. It was like a screen test or something. Like so basically I got to, I don't know if you guys have been to like Universal Studios. It was like that kind of thing where they do a tour. If you live somewhere else, they do a tour at Universal Studios where they basically have like a lot, which means like they have, Miranda, I know you live there, I get it. They have like a fake street and all these like sets that you see in movies, and it's like, you know, stage 5, this is where they make The Price is Right. Stage 7, they made Malcolm in the Middle here, and I'm like, Frankie Muniz! I just woke up everyone on planet Earth. What if everyone else, like no one's around me right now, but what if like 7 people shot up and went, Frankie? What if? Anyway, I lost track there. Okay, are we connecting right now? Do you feel something? So I was at the big lot, and I just remember being like, oh my god. So I was gonna like, this was they were going to film me with the director and the producers again to like show the like studio people, which basically means like the people putting money into it, deciding like, okay, the creative people liked me, like I knew they liked me, the creator liked me, this big director liked me, but the people with money had to decide like, is this person going to help us, you know, make money or make the money back that we put into this? It became like a business thing at that point. Because when it's a big thing, that it can't just be like, unless you're the most powerful person in Hollywood, you can't just say, I like this, I like that. The money people are gonna have to decide. So this was like stressful because it was for the studio. So I went in, they like put a microphone on me, and I just remember I remember like making a joke and saying, I feel like John Krasinski. Like in front of it, like, and I'm like planning that on the Uber on the way over, like, this is gonna be so funny, and and I remember the like creator of the show went, hey, maybe, or something, and I was like, oh my. And by the way, it wasn't for like the lead of the show, it was for like a recurring, like a person who was gonna show up every few episodes, but it was in the first episode, so I'd like be signing on to get money and like to be in a thing. And I remember, I just remember feeling like it wasn't great because it was so much pressure, and it was like a fancy camera, and I was in front of like a white wall that it just seemed like a real thing. And I remember the director was like trying to work with me and he goes, because I'm from a town called Modesto, and he goes, and he knew that, he like knew about me, like they cared, and he goes, do it like one of those annoying people you grew up with in Modesto. I just threw it. Well, I didn't say it, but I feel like he threw them under the bus. And I was like, excuse me, I don't want Hollywood anymore. You don't talk down to Modesto. Well, who are you, Frankie Muniz? You make me sick. Frankie Muniz doesn't make me sick. He cures all illnesses. Literally bottle him up and sell him at CVS. Okay, how are you, by the way? Am I talking too much? You're mad. No, I'll stop. Oh my god, stop. Why do you have the biggest hammer I've ever seen? Mr. Hulky. I just remember leaving there feeling like that wasn't my best, because I freeze up. I imagine if you're watching my videos, you know what it's like to freeze up and just be like, leave a situation and be like, oh my god, I was hypnotized by nervousness in there. I wish I could do it now. You know, like when you leave in kind of an argument and think of all the things you could have said. It felt like that, where I'm like, I could have been more this, but it's so hard to be present. And this was my problem with auditioning in general, when you are scared and your brain is like, you know, thinking that you're gonna, like half of it thinks that you're gonna die because it feels like so serious. But then it kind of felt like it wasn't amazing, but I did like an audition like a week later. So I go to audition like a week later, and this casting director that I knew from like years ago in this other thing I did, I don't even want to get into it, but not because it's like Frappuccino, but just because I don't feel like talking about that, and I will forget what I'm talking about if I go on a tangent. You get it. Hello? Sorry, let me turn my Bluetooth on. Oh my god, I forgot about the British boy. If you don't watch these videos, well, now it's like not organic, but he'll be here. Why can't I talk? I've been wanting to say so much about... You went to LA? You didn't tell me. You were an actor? I want to be an actor. That's why I'm in your videos. That's why I'm in your videos. Have you seen Shrek? I want to be Shrek. They already did Shrek. I want them to remake it. Live action Shrek. This could be my moment. Forget it. So I go to another audition with a casting director that I knew. Are you good? And he said to me, and I had like kind of been emailing my agents, like, is this happening? They seem to like me, and they were like, they do like you. Like, someone else that I knew told me like, the studio is still, they're about to watch the tape, and if they say yes, then it's a yes. And I was like, oh my, I might be on this show. Like the first month that I moved to Los Angeles, how is this happening? But also, of course it is. I'm 19 and I'm on top of the actual world. And I go to this other audition, which ended up being horrible, and the casting director goes, oh, hey, Drew, I heard you got that part on that show. Let's call it Tyler's River. Drew, hey, how's it going? I heard that you got the part on Tyler's River. Congrats. And I was like, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be on Tyler's River, like, with the ducks? No, but, and I was like, oh, it's confirmed. Like, this was like a big casting director. And that moment ended up, I have some resentment over it, because I did not, well, spoiler alert, I mean, I guess you'd know. I didn't end up being on that show, and I don't know why he even said that, or who told him? Like, it was just such a weird thing where I was like, so there's like rumors going on, like there's like buzz that like, did you hear Drew Monson is gonna be on? That's just like such a strange thing. But then that audition, because the thing about Hollywood that I realized is that a lot of it is just like starting. Once you get one thing, I would see people like get something, and then it's like, oh, you're doing it. Like, you've proven yourself to be someone who can be on a set and do your job. They don't want to like risk it with somebody and just like have some guy show up where they're gonna waste a bunch of money or like not get the shot they need because I don't have experience or whatever. But once you start, they want you to show up in everything. You know how like if you watch any comedy movie now, there's like the same 5 faces popping up playing like the nerdy kid or the weird guy, the weird 50-year-old, the weird 70-year-old, you know? I wanted to become that, and I didn't, and I feel like in that moment that guy was like, oh, you're that, you're like gonna be a thing. Now I'm excited, you're on another thing, let's put you on this thing. And I talked about it in another video like maybe 5 years ago. I think I might have said the name of the show. It was let's just say that the show had supernatural qualities, and I had to pretend like I was stabbing somebody, and it was so bad, and it told me to cry, and I think they told me to do like they said to have a southern drawl, and I had to look up what the word drawl meant, and it was like for that night or something. They were like, come in 4 hours, like they're trying to cast this part, and I like had to try to learn an accent, but then I showed up and the nervousness thing happened, and I was like, I'm not doing the accent. So it just like, the second I started it, I was like, why am I even finishing this? Like, should I just go? Because I'm not gonna put my all into this. So you ever tried like to get up and like dance and be weird on a stage or something, and like, right the second you start, you're like, never mind, and then you just kind of finish it anyway? It felt like that. And I remember he goes, I said this in my video years ago, he goes, wow, you're like a real actor. And I was like, dude, it really feels like you're making fun of me right now. There's no, then that was the thing about like audition. It always felt like there was, like, life has, you know, high school or whatever, it has like fakeness and kind of, you know, people saying things they clearly don't mean and just like putting a smile on. But like LA and like Hollywood, I mean, you know this, I guess, especially Miranda, especially Freddie from iCarly. Are you watching? Are you guys together? That's like what it is. It's just like supposed to be that. Like, it's only that. I don't resent, you know, that person, or like, they were all nice to me. That's the thing, but it always feels like, do you like me? Do you like anybody? Who do you like? Remember saying that all the time in middle school? Who do you like? Like, everyone just had to like somebody. Remember that? Freddie? Oh, I wrote down some other, anyway, so yeah, then I found out I was like, oh my god, I think this is happening. Like, this person just said that there was like word on the street. And then like a couple weeks after that, I got a call and they were like, hey Drew, so they're not gonna move forward with this one. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, literally everyone said that it was going to happen, and they said they want someone with more experience. And then I end up having a meeting because the creator of the show still liked me and wanted to meet with me to write on the show. And I was like, wow. And by the way, when they said that I couldn't be on it, they were like, and he definitely is gonna write you a part to like show up as a guest role someday. And I totally believed that, because why would someone lie to me? I'm me and I only want good. Turns out people say stuff and it doesn't happen, and that's okay. Mr. Hulky has lied. Shrek has not lied. Shrek can't lie. He's a sweet man. He might look scary, but he's not. He's got heart, and you know it. You know it. Is it just James Corden? Can we get in the carpool? I'm hungry. I left my Neutrogena in there. Wait, is that shampoo? I meant like Nutri-Grain. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm excited talking about Hollywood. Oh yeah, so they just said it wasn't gonna happen. I was just crushed. But I felt like I could keep going, you know? I felt like, and everyone around me was like, no, just keep going. This is what happens. And I knew that, like, intellectually, I knew this is literally what everyone says. Rejection, Hollywood, rejection, Hollywood, rejection. So like, I tried not to be surprised by it. And my agents were like, I think the mistake that I made when trying to do stuff was they said, you need to sign up for improv classes. And I did, and I went to one. I paid like $300 of my YouTube money to like do a month or two of classes like in LA, improv. Because they were like, you're going out for comedy stuff mostly. Like, you need to know how to like, because basically you go into like a comedy audition and a lot of times it's an unfunny script and they go, have fun with it. Write your own lines. And it just feels like they know it's not funny and they want you to be on, if they give you the part, to show up and be able to make the movie funnier. But I would, like I said, I'd freeze up. And the only way I've ever been able to perform in front of anyone is like in person, not right now. You're just a camera. Sorry, no, that was mean. No, but you know what I mean? Like, the only way I've ever been able to do that is to memorize something and leave my body and just muscle memory it. But I couldn't do that when I'd go in for like an unfunny script and they'd be like, say whatever you want. And which is so weird too, because they have the script and they're not gonna improvise with you, so you just have to improvise off of your side of the lines. You know what I mean? It was hard, and I went to the one improv class, felt uncomfortable because it was just people who like were lawyers and wanted to try doing improvisation, and someone recognized me from YouTube, and then I felt like, now they mentioned it, like we had to do like, I got a partner where they were like, you know, make up a scene with your partner, and my partner was like, you do YouTube videos, don't you? And I was like, huh? And they were like, he really does. And then it was a thing where I'm like, does everyone else here resent me now because I'm like in the class being recognized, and are they like, you already have a YouTube, like why are you? Anyway, I didn't do that, and I feel like it would have done me some good to kind of figure out how to be more comfortable in front of people. And I just kept going to these auditions. Okay, here, let me find it. I wrote some interesting ones down. What else did I not talk about? Hi. No, keep watching. Miranda, oh my god, literally Miranda left. Guys, Frankie Muniz, Shrek, get Miranda. Shrek, get Miranda. Literally sicking Shrek like a little dog. Get him, Shrek. There you go. This is what's gonna get me kicked off of YouTube. This is my vacuum, and I want to vacuum Miranda Cosgrove's house for $500. Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. I want to vacuum Miranda Cosgrove's house for $500 by the end of 2021. If you help me and subscribe to my Patreon, I'll show you what I find. And empty the bag on camera. What am I talking about? This is why I never got a part in LA. I always talk about vacuums. Okay, oh yeah, also after I did that horrible audition where I had to pretend to stab somebody, I went to lunch with another girl who was auditioning for stuff that I knew from something else, and we saw Jared Leto. And it was like, so this is LA. It was like one of those places where you wait in line, which I never understood. I've never understood why anyone would ever go to a restaurant where you wait in line, when there's always restaurants that don't have a line. Like, almost every Thai place doesn't have a line, and Thai food's really good. That's not like offense to like Thai restaurants, but people, you know, don't always go there. It doesn't like fill up like maybe some places it does. You know what I mean though? Anyway, we saw him picking up his food and we were like, wow, what a life. And I remember asking her, I was like, if you got one audition and then you go to another audition before you get the first one and you're really bad in that one but you were good in this one, can they say never mind about this one because you were so horrible when you pretended to stab the guy and didn't do a drawl right? And she was like, no, I don't think so. Also, stop talking about yourself so much. But yeah, auditioning, it was very interesting because like basically you'd go to, I'd Uber to like a place, usually in like Beverly Hills, like the fancy part of LA or somewhere in Hollywood, and there'd be this like, it basically would look like a doctor's waiting room, and there'd be posters. There'd always be like, they'd have posters of the other stuff they casted, and sometimes it would be like horrible movies, sometimes it'd be like, whoa, Titanic, but it was like, really? And yeah, you'd go in there, and sometimes it literally, I'd go in for like one line. Like I remember, I think it was the MTV show Awkward. I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything. I don't think I'm gonna get like sued or something, but I remember I went in and I literally just, you know, Ubered 45 minutes, waited in a thing for 20 minutes and just felt terrified and just walked in there and went like, today is a crazy day. Wait, aren't you Marcy? You came back from high school looking like a friend. That was a horrible example. Not real. But, and then they went, great, thanks. Which was always, the thing about auditioning also is that you could tell if it didn't go well if you just said your lines or did the scene with them or whatever, your one line about Marcy, and they just went, thank you. When you were, it took me a while to realize, if they said, do another one, at first I took that as a rejection. I remember I told these guys in a waiting room once, I was like, I feel so rejected, they keep telling me I'm to do it a different way, and they go, dude, that's the best sign. Like that means, I remember the guy goes, that means you're malleable. They think you're malleable. If they just say thank you, that means they don't even think it's worth it. If they spend 20 minutes with you, at first I was like, oh my God, sorry, I'm doing it wrong. No, they just want to direct you. Which, God, I wish I could, I mean, I guess I could try again, but I feel like that ship has sailed for me and I'm kind of over it also, which I kind of sound like the person who got like rejected from the club and now is like, I didn't want to anyway. Oh, cheerleading team? That sounds dumb. That sounds so dumb. But yeah, I just remember going into these like MTV offices all the time and seeing like another YouTuber there. And I remember I went to this audition and I saw this YouTube girl that I kind of didn't know, but like we kind of knew that we both did it, and she was like, oh hi, like isn't this a great script? Because when they send you like the scenes that you read for the audition, a lot of times they'd send you the entire script of the movie or whatever, and I just wouldn't read it, and I didn't know that you were supposed to read it to like get context. It makes sense. Like a lot of this stuff I'm like, why didn't I take it more seriously? I just thought it would be like, I'm on top of the world forever. And I remember she was like, wasn't this an amazing script? And I was like, yes, oh my God, the literally hands down my favorite script. And I didn't read it. I was like, oh, you do homework. Okay, so this is like a real thing. And she's like in stuff now. And I'm proud of myself too. I was about to say something mean. You felt it, right? Literally, it's a bug going to, I'm trying to like talk about how I used to be fancy in Hollywood. Another video I made on here, people were commenting you could see a roach crawl, like someone commented, roach in the background making his commute. And I was like, oh my God. I've had many an embarrassing moment on the internet, but a roach just, and not, I was like a part I didn't want to edit out, or I didn't feel like, I should have just censored it. Just you see a blur, clearly a bug, but it's blurred out. It just has the parental advisory on it. I'm like, oh, that's my friend. Yeah, that's your friend? No, I was making a joke. Well, I don't know, I'm really just a kid. Like, I want to be Shrek, but I don't know these, you always are, you're very dry humor. I know. Very dry. I get it, I'm literally talking about Los Angeles. Have you ever been there? I live in London. Okay. I'm having fun, I really am. Okay, what were the other stories I wrote down? Was I in the middle of a story here? Yeah, you go to a thing and you talk to a camera and they're mean to you. Oh, I did one. I didn't want to like, okay, I just remember there's these two guys on YouTube named Jake and Amir, and they were maybe I shouldn't say this. They were doing a thing and they didn't do anything mean to me, but I remember it was like a comedy thing. And I went in as like the weird coworker. And I remember they were sitting at the table, and it was like kind of a good audition because I got to like actually read for the real people. It wasn't just an assistant. And I just remember reading it and feeling like one of them was laughing at me. Like that would happen sometimes where it felt like they were going, But like, that's not how you want to be laughed at when you read a comedic scene. I'm not trying to call anyone out, but sometimes, you know how stuff will just pop up in your head and you're like, the other side of that story doesn't remember. It's very, like, for some reason you obsess over it. That was a thing for me, auditioning for Jake and Amir from YouTube. They were like big on 2007 College Humor, and they still do stuff, and I think they're funny, but I remember being very embarrassed because I loved them, and they were like, I felt like they were going, that's the worst way anyone can ever laugh at you, is like a, no one ever does that in a nice way. Can you imagine like the love of your life going, you'd be like, what? I thought we were married. Okay, oh, I went to one, I remember it was called, well, I shouldn't say the name. Okay, I'm gonna say it. Take me away, Hollywood police. No, wait, what? Dance camp. It was called Dance Camp, and I went in, and the audition was you have to bring in a song and do a full dance, and just like freestyle a dance like you're Napoleon Dynamite at the end of that remarkable, remarkable film. And I brought in the song Hungry Like the Wolf by Duran Duran. Look it up if you don't know it. And I just like went for it. I was like, had a Rockstar energy drink that day or whatever, and I was just like, boom, boom. And I just remember feeling like, listen, that's probably won't happen. I think it was a YouTube movie or something, but I felt good about it, and no one can say that I did not try there. And the other cool thing about it was, a lot of times, like I said, they'd be in like the fancy parts of LA, so I just like Uber there and just walk around. Like I remember I was just like, this is my day, like I just do videos and audition for stuff, so I'd like walk around fancy neighborhoods. I remember after I did the Hungry Like the Wolf dance, I either walked by Ellen DeGeneres' house, or I think it was just that I saw it and I went, that could be Ellen's house. And it felt like it could, because they have these houses in LA that are literally like an entire park. Like they have like 17 gates in front of them. There's a moat, there's a duck. It's Tyler's River, literally. The duck's like, this is Tyler's River and Ellen lives here. What? What's he talking about? I remember one time I went to an audition, and I think the lady actually liked me, and it was just like the casting director or the assistant or whatever, and she goes, it's good, that was great. Do you have headshots? Which I think you guys know what headshots are. It's just like the professional, which I never did. That was another thing. My agent said, go to improv classes, get professional headshots. They're like $100. I had $100. I didn't do it. There was just a lot, I was just like not taking care of I didn't have a maturity. Like now I'm still like messed up in a lot of ways, but I have kind of a maturity and the context that comes with age, where you see the importance of things and how to kind of step into situations and what other people expect from you, I guess, or how much certain things mean and how little other things don't. I don't have a full grasp on that. I definitely mix those two up a lot, but at that time I think that deep down I just didn't want it that badly. And also, maybe I'll talk about it someday, but that was not, there was stuff going on with myself that I just was not taking care of myself. I was making bad decisions for myself, and I was just, I wasn't able to focus on, like, I was not one of those people who, like, you know, goes and reads the entire movie script and shows up, like, looking like one of the agents in a nice, you know, a fancy outfit, and I couldn't be that, and I don't know if I really wanted to be that, but I think I did. Oh, one time I remember I was in like the waiting room, which literally is just like a bunch of other actors, which also, okay, tangent, I'm giving myself a permission to tangent right here. The other thing that was hard about auditioning for stuff, and I'll remember the story I was about to tell, is that I was only going in, because I'm not like going to play the, I don't think I'm ugly, I really don't. I think that I can be really handsome. I can't even just say it. I think I can be really handsome, but I choose not to be. No, but like, you know, I don't think I'm ugly, but in Hollywood, like, if you're not able to play like the hottest guy in school, you're basically like, it's either that or the role that you're auditioning for is like person who is funny looking. So I'd go into this waiting room, and it would always, the description of the characters I'd audition for, they'd email you when you'd go in, would be like, strange looking, or like the weirdo who's not exactly, you know, and I'd literally go in and it'd be like, you know, a giant man or someone who's very tiny, and that sounded judgmental, but the point is, it was clearly, it wasn't a bunch of Dylan and Coles, okay? You know what I'm saying? And neither am I. I'm not a Dylan, I'm not a Cole, and this life is not so sweet, okay? I'm not even on deck! You guys get it. Frankie! Shrek? Shrek, Frankie, and Dylan and Cole, and Drew Monson just hanging out making vlogs. Can you imagine? That should be a musical. Shrek the musical? No, no, no. Sweet Life. Okay, Mr. Mosby, you good? Thank you. I see that, all of, like, the last 45 seconds, I don't know what that meant. But I do. I do. Okay, see what really happened is I'm stalling because I completely lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, you go in, see, I told you this was gonna happen. You go in and you think that it's, I don't know, I just feel like it kind of messed with my self-esteem a little bit because I realized like, oh, at least where I'm choosing to live, I am like classified as someone who is gonna play that part, which is like useful in like a comedy movie. You know when someone just pops up on screen like a side character that's in it for 3 minutes and you just laugh at the way they are, kind of the way they look, but not in a horrible way, just cause like they have like a funny face. And I feel like I was not Dylan and Cole. I was not a sweetie, hot, but I also wasn't like, haha, oh my god, he's so strange looking, it's hilarious. I was just kind of like, okay, no, but also not LOL. And that was kind of hard because I was coming in to play these, and then sometimes I'd like see the things that I auditioned for and like who actually got the part. And I'm like, of course that's not me. Literally, it's like, I don't even want to say, I was going to like give a mean example. It's literally Billy Ray Cyrus. What? Why did I audition for Old Town Road, the music video? That's not my vibe. It's not his either. It felt very forced. I hate to say it. Feeling like a rock star. What? Go away. The first one was good. Why did that one have more views on YouTube? I have to say it. So the story I was going to tell was that I was in this waiting room one time. And a problem I have, and had especially then, is that I don't know when to stop saying how I feel, even if it kind of makes people uncomfortable. And when I feel uncomfortable with a feeling, I just start talking, and it makes people go like, does he know how like social interaction works? Like, this is not therapy, this is not a vlog. I think everywhere is a vlog. Shrek? And I remember there was this girl in the waiting room, and I go, I turned, it's kind of embarrassing because I shouldn't have done this. And I didn't think it was bad, but I just go, isn't this horrible? I went, isn't this because I was just feeling terrified. And I was like, why? It had been like a year and a half that I was getting no callbacks and nobody seemed to like what I was doing. And I was like, and I thought in my head, this was gonna be like almost a romantic comedy moment where she's like, I thought you were the only one who noticed how bad, you know, we're both hating the same thing and now we like each other. Let's be best friends or lovers, you know? But she was like, what? Yeah, you know. I remember she was like, no, I try to like, it's fun. And like, she was right. Like, I didn't understand how lucky I was to be there and how it was not going to last forever. And she like had the right idea. I love hating on things, but like she's right. She was like, no, it's like get to audition for things in Hollywood. Are you kidding me? Like I'm 22 in 2016. I'm gonna be jealous of me for the rest of my life right now. And then another girl, like across at another area of the waiting room goes, what are you doing? Like hearing our interaction, I was like, I turn red. I'm like, what? She's like, why are you trying to make her nervous? And she thought that I was like sabotaging. And I was like, we're not auditioning for the same part, first of all. Like, I got where she was coming from. Like, I think that I was being a little bit much in that waiting room, but I just, and this girl was being too much too, because it's like, mind your business. And I wasn't trying to, I swear, I was not being like creepy. I wasn't like, are you upset? I like kissing, you know, I wasn't like weird, but it was just very embarrassing. And she was like, you shouldn't do that. Like, don't bring your negative energy or something. And I kind of agree. I think she should have backed off. She came at me real strong. Discuss in the comments, honestly. Was she right? Was I right? Am I telling the story in a way that I left out something that would make me look bad? No, I don't think so, but look up Elizabeth Loftus and her memory studies. That's the only thing I remember from my AP psychology class, and I got a C+. And someone named Elizabeth Loftus did a study where it was about how all our memories are distorted. But you also should trust yourself. I'm not saying you should gaslight you. You get it. Yeah, that was embarrassing. And then I remember that girl, and I like ended up making up with her, and she was like, yeah, I just thought that you were doing that. And then I told my friend about it, and my friend was like, no, you were wrong. Like, you were trying to sabotage that person. You were trying to, like, because people go in there and they do that, and they try to make everyone else nervous, which kind of makes sense, but I'm like, Really? That sounds like a show that Dylan and Cole Sprouse would be on, where they're like, I'm gonna go to the audition, but I'm gonna make everyone nervous, and then I will be the one. I'll be the only man in this movie. I'll kick everyone else out. Sorry, Drew, we couldn't cast anybody else because they were too nervous. Oh, is that right? Hopefully it wasn't little me who did that. Okay, what else? Yeah, but it just never really happened, and eventually they just kind of stopped sending me emails that said, can you go to this audition? And honestly, I never even, I guess I'm technically still have them as agents. We just have not corresponded for like 4 or 5 years. And they used to email me a thing that it would be from Team Drew Monson. And I always say to people, Team Drew Monson, I think, has disbanded. I think that it's like, if the Avengers broke up, that's what happened. No more Mr. Hulky. But everyone was nice, and I really do see it now like a interesting experience. I'm able to just go, wow, that's kind of cool. I never got anything, but like, really, I mean, some things, but again, not through that. But I got to like walk around the lot with the fake street, and I just remember being like, this is so cool. Like, it was so exciting. And I'd take an Uber, and sometimes I'd ask the Uber driver, can I practice my lines? And because I was just like so confident, and I would freeze up, but I felt like it was so exciting. Like, I don't know, looking back on it, I feel very grateful to have even like had that experience. Like, if I ever have grandkids or something, which, no way. But if I ever lose my mind when I'm 90, which, let's be honest, it's happening around 61, and imagine grandkids, I'll be like, let me tell you a story about Hollywood, California. And I'll be like acting like I'm making a video. Oh God, that's gonna be me when I'm like 70. I'll be like, why do you do that? Why is my British boy? And the nursing home's like, he's doing the British boy again. Yeah, he doesn't realize that his channel was banned from YouTube for talking about Miranda Cosgrove and vacuums too much. How long is this? I've been doing this for a while. I know I had other stories to tell. Anyway, yeah, I did do some like, you know, certain little parts here and there. I remember one time I did this movie called Dirty 30. I was in like a few things, and this was one that was like very exciting. Like, I knew the YouTubers that were in it, and it was not like a gigantic thing, but it was like a real production. It was filmed at this big mansion in this cool part of LA, and I didn't get like a ton of money for it or anything. I actually have got money for it. That's the other cool thing about being in anything. You randomly get checks that are, sometimes they're like $300. It's like, what? Like, I made more money from the stuff that I did acting-wise later, from the residual payments of it being on like a streaming service, than I did from the actual day-to-day working hours of acting in it, which is strange. And probably not the case for like bigger stuff, but I always thought that was weird. And that's the tea. But yeah, I went to that, and I just remember doing that for like 3 days, and I just remember going to the movies one day after I had shot on set and like hung out with people, and it's so fun. I mean, of course I wanted to do that. Like, I didn't have the drive in me to go all the way because the rejection, I just couldn't, it wasn't worth it, but it is so fun. Like, can you imagine, maybe you can, you're literally Gibby from iCarly. Why is the iCarly cat, you guys are having a reunion, you're just sitting around watching Drew Monson #2? Come on! Get to acting. Oh, and they already did a spinoff. I tried to watch it. Guys, I'm sorry, really bad. That's a stinker. I keep getting recommended iCarly revival clips. That's a stinker. I'm sorry to say it, but that's a stinker. Okay, man, I just hurt 17 people's feelings. Gibby, come back. Shrek, Gibby, Dylan, Cole. Who else? Miranda, Freddy the Fish? That was a computer game. Wow, I can't get on track. Okay, it's just a really fun thing where you're on a set and you just like talk to random people, and you're all like part of this thing, and you're joking around, and there's a table with snacks, and it's like, oh, I've seen that person in something else, and it feels like you are meant to be there, and you have a purpose in this thing that's going to be seen by people, and there's someone telling you where to go, and they're like, oh, hi Drew, you're here, you're supposed to go over there. I would love that. And they'd put makeup on me, and I would go home and I'd wear it for the rest of the day, and I'd go to the movies, or I'd go to CVS, and I'd have like screen makeup on me, and I would feel so important. And I just remember one day shooting on this movie, Dirty 30, and going to the movies myself afterwards in LA, and I just remember standing outside of the movie theater about to go in, and I started crying. I don't know if I talked about this in a video before. Apologies if I have, Freddie. But I was just like, I know I'm gonna remember, like, I don't know if I'll ever do this again, or if this will go away soon, or whatever, but I can't believe that I just shot on a movie on a set, and now I'm watching a movie and I'm paying for popcorn with money that I'm making doing this stuff. Like, it was just, I just cried. And I went in, proceeded to watch the movie Spotlight, which if you've never heard of, look up what that's about. But you know, it was just, I feel like I didn't explain exactly how emotional that moment was for me, and maybe it just sounded annoying, but like, I just remember being like, very present and being like, I am grateful for this right now, and I don't need anything more. Like, all I ever wanted to do when I was a kid was like, I just want to be in a movie. What if I was in a movie? Like, I'd see a movie and I'd be like, what if I, like, just imagine me, what if I was that character? That would be the most fun thing ever. And I didn't, like, you know, star as Mr. Hulky in the Avengers 5, but I did some stuff, and I auditioned for stuff, and I walked around the lot, and it was fun, and I don't know, I'm just like reflecting on it all today, and I wanted to talk about like what it actually feels like and how it's scary, but it's just hard because you come in and you know you feel desperate. Like, you know those moments in life where you're like, I look desperate right now because I am. Like when you like someone more than they like you, or you want a job and you can just feel the desperation sweating off of you, and you're like, I wish I could erase this, but it's here. And people who get stuff are good at erasing that and just like looking like they don't care, but I would come in with desperation. I feel like they could smell it. I don't know what went wrong. Oh, I didn't tell the story of how I went in, the meeting to be a writer. So way back, how long is this? I took my glasses off, I can't tell. I went in, after I didn't get the part, he wanted me to maybe write on the show, and I was 19, so I didn't know, I had no idea. Like, I'd written like one script myself, but I didn't have any like experience in that. They have like sitcom writers' rooms. I was like looking into it, but I knew he had been sent the script that I wrote, and he liked me, and he was like a big writer. He created like he wrote on like huge things, and he wanted to meet with me, and it was like such a thing. But I remember that day I just was not in the right. I was too in my head. I was too nervous. I was thinking too much about what he wanted me to say. And it's such a weird thing too, like going into interview to be a writer, because like, what do they ask you? Like, take out a pen and show me what it looks like when you, like, here's a keyboard, type. Like, it was just, he basically, I think looking back on it, he wanted to see if I was able to be funny in a room with another person, and I was too nervous. That was, again, like back to this like freezing up thing. Like, I think I'm so funny when I'm like talking to a friend on the phone, or like certain moments when I make videos and I can relax. But when I'm like, you ever like, you know, a cashier tries to like joke around with you and you're just like, thank you for the product, you know, like, and then you walk away and you're like, I'm funny, what happened? They tried to do it with me back, and and it felt like that. And I never heard anything from him. And that, like, I was crushing, because it was like, you got this part. No, you didn't. Now you could be a writer. No, you can't. Now you'll have a guest role. Actually, that never happened. The show was on for 5 or 6 seasons and then is over now. And like, I don't know if I ever really came back from that. And it's not like anger, like it's not, they had every right to do that. It's a little bit of, I mean, I ended up seeing the guy who got the part on the show, and the thing that bugged me about being like an 18 or 19-year-old like auditioning actor in LA was they always ended up giving the 18, 19, 20-year-old parts to like 37-year-old guys that looked young. Like it's Grease in 1978 or whatever, and that was frustrating because I'm like, I am 19, like I know what it's like to be 19 in 2016, like why are you giving it to some literally almost 40-year-old? Like, and there's a few of those guys that like would get parts that I'd audition for, and they still pop up in things that I watch, and they're funny, but I can't, I like have to turn it off because I feel so like resentful and so, but I get why they cast them because they're good, but some of them I'm like, dude, this guy, literally college, you're saying he's in college. What? So I was like, can we break this cycle? I'm here to break the cycle. I'll throw a beanie on and I will be that guy. Anyway, I'm glad it happened. I wrote a poem, by the way. I was gonna try and like, I wrote a poem last night that I felt very emotional about, and I thought that I would read it in this video. I feel kind of nervous too, but I thought, well, I'm talking about like being creative and like trying to let go and do things in front of people, and it's scary, and I don't know. This might be cringe. Maybe you turned it off. Again, who am I talking to if you did? Oh, it's on my computer. Let me get my laptop out, 1 second. Okay, here it is. I'm putting this like near the end of my video. Again, maybe you're watching it right now like, nope, Drew, you did not end after this. So most people have stopped watching already, and I can be vulnerable. Because I've always been scared of poetry. Like, every time I read one, I just feel upset that I don't understand it. And I'm like, why do you think you're better? Why do you write something that I can't understand and now I'm shaking? I don't like you for that. It feels like a fun, because whenever I see a poem, I'm just like, why isn't it a song? I don't get it. What is it? Like, why do I read it over and over again? What do I, like, I get reading a whole book, and I get listening to a song, but a poem's like 1 page, and then how do I want to like binge on something. Do I just read you see what I'm saying? Okay. This is my poem. Now that I've aired my grievances with poems as a thing, I'm going to read the one that I did. And I'm not gonna say anything mean. I'm gonna try a challenge here, okay? Let's do a challenge together. I'm not gonna say anything mean about my poem. I guess you're not. Here's your challenge. You can't either. No, I don't want any poetry. What if a poetry reviewing channel is like, my thoughts, the thumbnail, my thoughts on Drew Monson's new poem. It goes viral. I'm like, literally, what? Why? Your poem is going to be great. Thank you. That was actually kind of sweet, right? Like, what if like the little British boy in my videos becomes like he has like an emotional arc. He's like, I don't know why I need my own channel. And then I just make his own channel where it's just me in the corner, just like, hi, welcome to my channel. I usually with Drew, I'm kind of a part of him, but I want to be Shrek, so I thought okay. I'm stalling, I'm nervous, I feel like I'm auditioning for you right now. Whoa, you're the agent, you're the casting director, you're Mark Ruffalo. Miranda? Okay. It's called, Some People Never Sing for Anyone But Themselves and Their Neighbors Who Heard on Accident. Some people, I feel like, how do you not do a poetry voice? I don't want to do a silly voice. Okay, just do it. Do the poetry voice, own it. Being real. Don't sing it. Some people never sing for anyone but themselves and their neighbors who heard on accident. Some people never sing for anyone but their pets, as their ears perk up and their head curls over, and they try to figure out if it's a compliment. Some people never sing for any stage, any screen, any karaoke bar, or in any ear of any love they ever found. They opt for their dogs and their mirrors and the mites inside their dust and the neighbors who heard on accident. Some people never sing for anyone who could ever even tell them if it was ever good or not, or if it was perfect. Some people wonder every day of their life if it just might be perfect, half opening their mouths one time to start to ask a friend to tell them the truth if it sucks, before closing it back and saving it for a braver or drunker day. Some people never sing for anyone but their walls and their rugs and their ceilings and their blankets and their books, and one night through their new thin walls, their neighbors who heard on accident, who they didn't realize could hear them at all, until a week later when they heard them singing too, and it was so perfect. You know, I don't know, it's got like a little punchline. I don't know if I read that last, do you get like the thing, is that the name? I explained the poem afterwards. So that poem, yeah, the neighbors were singing and it was perfect. Yeah. I feel very vulnerable right now. Also, I just want to say, I don't know if I try to like keep my private life private and not talk about like family and friends but my, it would be my ex-stepmom's birthday today, and she died last year, and I don't know what the instinct is to talk about it like in a public way, but like she's more likely to be reached from afar if I say it on a YouTube video, but I don't know, I just want to, I don't know, I guess I shouldn't say her name. It's private in a way, but like I'm thinking of her today. And I know a song that she liked was Take Me Home Country Roads, which if you don't, you probably know it, but I've been listening to that and thinking of her, and like, you know, divorce and step parents, it can be complicated and really emotionally raw and hard sometimes, and not always perfect. But I lived with her for a lot of my adolescence, and I had fun times with her, and we would watch TV, and she was funny, and she was always ready to like meet me at my humor, and like I'd make like a weird joke like I do, and she would like not even like look at me, like, you know, some people I make those jokes and they're like, what? Like, you're weird, or, you know, one of those like annoying people things, and she would just like meet me there. And looking back, like, I'm grateful that it was probably nice when I was 13 or 15 or whatever to have someone like joke around with me and just like watch Shark Tank. And I just remember we'd make fun of the people, and I don't know, if you don't know that song, I'd say listen to it. I like the version by Whitney and Waxahachie. That was one of my top songs on Spotify last year, and I just cry to that song sometimes and think of her. I don't even know if it was like her favorite. I knew she liked it, and it just makes me think of her now because of that connection in my head. And it's, you know, I have that kind of guilt about not feeling really sad about someone who was not the closest person. Like, oh, I don't have the right to be as sad. This person does, or I didn't keep in touch with her enough. So why should I act? It's just about me, blah, blah, like all this kind of self-hatred thing I do with kind of grief. But I don't know, I'm thinking of her today and sending love out into the universe or whatever it is. I'm sure there's people watching this who have of course, like thinking of someone else. And I don't know, I just encourage you to take a walk and like put on that song or one of your favorite songs that like makes you emotional. Like one of those songs that makes you think about life. Like I love songs that are just like a life song. Like it's not a love song, it's not a breakup song, it's just life. And take a walk if it's not dark and scary and you're not just like, or lay in your bed and like feel it. Put on your headphones. And life is, I know this is like a weird place for this to go, but I do twist endings sometimes. Start with Miranda Cosgrove and go right back down to grief and music. Yeah, listen to a song. Feeling love, feeling sadness for how sometimes things are just sad, and there's no like movie version of it where it's like sad but there's a beautiful song in the background, or it's sad but you have that final moment where you realize that it's just like some things are just brutally sad and it feels like a really disappointing thing, and it's like, wow, why did that happen? That shouldn't have happened. That should not have happened. There's no other way to look at it. That shouldn't have happened. But it's also just like life, and I'm grateful that that she was, I don't know, that we could laugh at Shark Tank together. So I just want to say that. I don't really know why. Maybe I'll edit it out, and then it will just be for me, and that's okay too. And if so, hi Drew. Hope you're good. And if not, hello you. Why are you here? This is a private moment. Maybe I just forgot to edit it out. Don't watch this! Just kidding. Okay. Do you like my poem? Don't be mad! Was that a good story? Were any of those stories good? I think the whole thing was good. I think I knocked it out of the park. I get really cocky at the end. Go, go, Drew, you can do it. Act like Shrek. I am Shrek. Today, I'm Shrekin. Okay, bye. For real. I'm not coming back. This is bye. Everyone, take a breath. He's leaving. He will be back. He will be back. Just like Shrek. Just like Shrek came back for Shrek the Third. Did he come back for a fourth? We'll talk about it after. You said you were leaving. You're right. Bye-bye, Miranda. Okay, I know I said I was leaving, but how I said Miranda, remember Lin-Manuel Miranda? How he went like this? Look up Lin-Manuel Miranda lip bite. It's funny. Seriously though, listen to a good song. I know you already forgot about that. Okay, bye.